Hello, this is Alex from Wenneslow. I'm here in Sydney right now. This is after it's New Year's Day today. So as a New Year surprise for you, I'm doing an interview with Michael Angelo Garcia, one of the premier flyers in Cumberland Racing Federation, CCF. And Angelo flies with the Western Pigeon, is that Western Pigeon
Federation.
Federation, and he's had his own share of successes. He's won twice Fed overall, twice first, that is, and countless first club wins, including six firsts in 2019, which is really hard to do. So let's get on with the interview with Michael. Hello, Michael. So, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks.
It's really a privilege for you to grant me this interview. So, I've told them some of your major accomplishments. And how long have you been racing?
Now I've been racing on my own. I started 2009 and up to now. But 2014, that was my last race because I took 1 year break in 2015. Then I came back 2016.
Yep.
And yeah, but since then, I carry on racing with my kids too, with the help of my kids.
Well, that's good. It's a family.
It is, yeah. That's one good thing about it because you gotta get the kids involved because you want them for the future racing.
Yeah, that's
Because
right.
not many people getting involved in pigeon racing now because mainly it's very costly and time consuming as well. It involves about 365 days per year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, it's there's no off season.
Now there's no off season.
Yeah. So, how did you start with pigeons?
I started with pigeons since I was a young boy with my uncles
This was in the
in
Philippines.
the Philippines. But when I get here in 1997, I left some pigeons back home with my uncles. But he didn't start getting involved with pigeons not until the early 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the time when I met a few Filipinos that helped me out. I met them through mutual friends as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, since then, but I got a gap in between from 2002 to 2009 because I got a young family to, you know,
Yeah,
gotta put my time with them rather than with pigeons.
yeah,
And
understandable. Well, we're all part of the same boat.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. And yeah, it wasn't a easy ride. Mainly because you gotta what I call do it on your own. You get few tips from someone else, but you gotta put all the hard work by yourself.
That is true.
Uh,
Yeah. So, how was the first year of racing here?
the first year racing, 2009, I've read about 80 pigeons
Uh huh.
and only raced 9 races. And I stopped and I decided to keep them as a 2 years old.
Yeah.
So the following year, when I came back, I think 2010, um, those leftovers from the previous years, they become a good versus a 2 years old.
All right.
And I won few on them racing the south.
All right. So, how was racing back when you started compared to racing
When
nowadays?
I started racing back then, there's a lot of flyers around. You're talking about 400 flyers.
Mm-hmm.
And now because some other flyers they moved interstate, some passed away, and you can't get other people to involved now in pigeon racing
That's
because
true.
it's too expensive.
I know quite a few who moved
Yes,
interstate.
yeah. Talking about the volume wise, you get lucky if you get about around 150 in one bed this time.
Mm-hmm.
But going back from the previous years, which is very what do you call compatible because you got 400 flyers. You gotta try your best to beat those one.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, but the does the number of birds you send then was it the same as the number of birds you're sending now? Say 25 in a race or 30
Yes,
in a
we
race?
do. We still got sending 25 per week.
All right. So you get less flying now than before. Imagine 400 flyers with 25 birds each. Eh?
Yeah, back then,
That
like
just 10 grand.
if you got 400 flyers, you get about 10,000 pigeons per
Yeah,
race.
yeah.
And now if you get less than flyers, you still get quite a few, probably around between 5 and 6,000. Because when I won my first overall, I won again. I think about 280 flyers. It's like,
Whoa,
yeah, 6,000
6,000
pigeons.
pigeons,
Yeah,
eh?
6,000 pigeons.
Do you think we'll ever get back to that number of flyers or?
Nah, I doubt it, because this what you call this generation, yeah, not too many players want to get involved now in the pigeon racing, because as I said, it's too expensive, and
Well,
plus the time consuming as well. So that drives them away from the sport.
well, that I believe is true. I agree with you on that one. So I saw that you have a substantial number of birds in your loft. So any specific strains that you keep?
When I started with Jansen, and then later on I introduced them with the Banlu. So they're the one that what I call made my stock pigeons.
Your foundation
They-
ones.
they're my foundation now.
All right.
And then later on introducing what I call Van Dyke and Cookman, which is what I call made it more improved what the current stock birds that I have.
Yeah.
So since then, they the main bloodlines that I keep in the log.
So how long have you had the Van Loons for?
I had the Banlu since 2009
Whoa.
from my friends Johnny Biles.
All right. They the same the ray hunt thing.
Now this one from mainly Grizzle Silver Shadows.
Oh, all right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How about do you still fly them pure or?
Now across them, they cross well
Yeah.
with other bloodlines,
Uh-huh.
especially with Cookman and Van Dyke.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. And do you believe that certain strains have different capabilities, just like Gabbies will be middle distances, and then Staff Bandits will be
I think
short
it
distance.
all depends on your training, because I tried different strains of pigeon. I tried Stab and Red. I didn't have any success with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I try what other bloodline I tried. I try Del Var. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't work with me as well, except when I crossed them, and they work well with crosses. But that's in my own opinion and my personal experience.
Yeah. And the Van Loons, can they do sprint from short distances to long distances? The ones that you
I
have?
think it depends on how you train them, but mainly they fly from me sprint to middle races
Okay. Oh.
comfortably. But one of my mate, he did clock one of my bloodline. 400 miles is a hard race,
Uh huh.
and yeah, and he beat me by half an hour.
With your own bird.
In my own race, yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
Happens. All right. Yeah. So, with regards to taking care of the management and conditioning, so what is your ideal team size, race bird team size?
Well, it depends how many birds I got left from the previous years.
All right.
I normally try to make up the quantity about 90 birds.
Around 90 birds.
90 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
Because in that way, by the time you toss,
Yeah.
you toss it in the first race,
Mm-hmm.
you get at least about around 80 pigeons. That'll be enough for you to race towards the end of the season.
So do you pick birds to fly the short races and the other ones on the later longer races?
Yeah, but they all go to the distance. What I call to the same race point every week too. So what I do, if it's a sprint race, I send sprint birds,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Alright.
then same with the middle distance. I said middle distance birds,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
same as long distance. But all those birds, they go every week at the same race point, so they get the same experience as the sprint birds, regardless whether they middle or long distance birds.
All right. And out of these 90 to 100 birds, how many do you expect to end up with at the end of the season?
Um,
I know there's gonna be losses from the
Oh yeah,
tosses
for
and,
sure.
and from the
Because,
races. So
no other breeders what they call like that don't lose pigeons.
yeah, yeah,
But I think roughly around 35 to 45 pigeons at the end of the
which is
season.
still good.
Yeah, it's still
50% still
good.
good. Eh? Yeah, and do you feed the same mix from start to finish?
Uh, it depends. Sometimes it depends on the races. If it is a sprint race, I give them what they call like sprint mix.
All right. Yeah.
But if it is middle to long distance, I give them quite heavy mix. So they got plenty of fuel during the race.
That is true. Yeah, I believe in that too. Yeah. And do you use any special additives? You know.
I use garlic oil as a binder.
Mm.
Put it in the feeds, and then I put pig mineral powders, brewer yeast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And special vitamins.
I use Orego Steam.
Oh, all right.
It's good for the guts.
I hope Orego's team watches this so we get more advertisements
I
from
use
them.
Orego Steam.
So that's the first part of the interview. Stay tuned for the second part next week. And if you like the video, hit the like button. And for notifications, please subscribe.